My name is Osvaldo Caban Jr., and I have a law firm down on Wall Street. I've been practicing law for 20 years now, and I find the law very entertaining. I love the law. I love dealing with people. But before I speak about myself, I'd like to thank this organization. I think this organization is a real necessity in our community because what it does is it empowers people. And when you learn how to achieve things in life, it's an empowering experience. And when you're empowered, you feel good about yourself. It's all a developing process. I think that, for me, coming from the place I came from, and the communities I came from, I needed that type of building block system. Matter of fact, for me, Father Luce, a priest in the South Bronx, he was my mentor, and he encouraged me to go to law school. So I'd like to thank Julio for the invitation. I'd like to thank Catherine for inviting me also. I feel humbled being here before you to speak about my experiences. I think that I think any one of you could be up here and talk about experience. I think that success and the keys to success, we all experienced it in one way or another. For me, success in my practice is making someone's life happy or enhancing someone's life on a daily basis. If I could do that on a daily basis, if I could enhance somebody's life, I feel really successful. For me, I've been blessed with great monetary things in my life, especially from my experience when I growing up very poor. I grew up in projects in Brooklyn and Queens and in the Bronx. My family moved from different areas. I lived in housing projects. That's what I grew up in. And I found that from my humble experience, you need mentors in life. You need someone to guide you, someone to put your life in the right path. So I think that each one of you here has the capacity to be up here and talk about a successful experience. But since you asked me to come before you, I'd like to speak a little bit about myself. As I said earlier, I grew up in a single family home. My father abandoned my family when I was 5 years old. I always promised myself that, if I had children, if God gave me the blessing of having children, I would never abandon them. I felt that it was very important for me to be there for my children, for my family, which I am today. I adhere to that principle. In my family, in my community, it was basically a poor area. I was born in Brownsville, Brooklyn, and I was raised in the Brownsville projects. It's a very, very bad area, infested with drugs, high unemployment rate. It was infested with very bad schools. So I needed mentors in my life. Father Luce was a mentor to me, and he had an organization similar to this that helped me build my life and move along. I'd like to get to the keys to success for me. I feel that, from my experience, different from Stuart. Stuart is he has a business, and his business, that's where he makes his living, through his business. I'm my business. I'm an attorney, and I have to deal with people on an everyday basis. And my service is my business. So if I provide a good service to my clients, they would in turn bless me with more cases, more opportunities to work for them. So one key for me to succeed in my life and in my business endeavors is to be a good listener. I think that a good listener is essential. Most people in life don't understand what good listening means. To me, good listening means to respect the person that's talking to you. So when that person is talking to you, you have to give that person undivided attention. I think that that's really an important qualification or characteristic we need to succeed in life. Most people aren't good listeners. Most people will say hello to you, good morning, and you tell them something, just for that moment they understand, they integrate for that moment. But if you ask them 5 minutes later, what was the conversation about, they really don't understand. And I think that the basic premise of good listening is to respect the person that's talking to you. Each person, from my experience, each person in life that you encounter will teach you something. I really believe that. Before I became a lawyer, I graduated. I went to school here in New York. I went to City College in New York. I graduated from Long Island City High School in Queens. Before I became a lawyer, when I graduated college, I was a correctional officer. And what happened was, when I was in college, I minored in criminology. And when I minored in criminology, I applied to all types of civil service exams while I was in college. And Lo and behold, when I graduated from college, a corrections department called me up. Me, graduated from college, I was unemployed. Like a lot of college students nowadays, you have a degree, you have nowhere to work. While I was in college, I worked 4 years in a bank, Urban Trust Company in Wall Street. And I always thought, I worked there from 2 to 11:30 at night, every day of the week, 5 days a week. I used to take early classes from 8 in the morning to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Right after school, I used to get to work 5 days a week. So I always felt that Urban Trust Company would offer me a job opportunity once I graduated. But I was really mistaken. What happened was, when I graduated from college, Urban Trust Company did not offer me a job because I wasn't an Ivy League student. See, when in this society, especially in corporate America, especially in that era, Ivy League students, jobs really hired Ivy League students. I was a public school graduated person from public high school. I went to City University here in New York, so I didn't have the pedigree to get a job in Wall Street, so I was unemployed. The corrections department called me up. I diverted a little bit from my story, but the real point I want to get across is that when I was a correction officer, I remember one day going down the cell blocks and policing the cells. And I saw this guy sitting there, and he was just drawing. And I had seen this guy in the cell blocks for about 6 months. He was not a slim gentleman, looked depleted, looked pretty sickly. So I saw him drawing. I said, wow, he was drawing some amazing, beautiful pictures. So I said, Pedro, well, what are you doing? He said, well, I draw. So I said, wow, that's really amazing. He showed me his portfolio of things he drew. And then he started teaching me about different artists and about what they, their style of drawings. And then he started to read to me his poetry. And I was amazed. At that point, I was 20 years old. I said, Pedro, you taught me a lot today, and I have to admit one thing, Pedro. I never believed that someone like you could teach me something. I felt someone like you, who was a criminal, incarcerated, a drug abuser. He's done many bad things in his life. He admitted to me the things he's done in his life to acquire drugs. I said, Pedro, you taught me so much. From that point on, I realized that how people, no matter where you meet a person at any walk of life, will teach you so much important things that you never experienced. So for me, good listening always became very important. Respect for the person that's telling you the story. Because as an attorney, the must of being an attorney is being a person who could tell a story. My job, I'm a litigator. I've had jury trials in the past. I've litigated before Supreme Court judges. I'm constantly talking to judges. So my job is to relay stories to the judge, because unbeknownst to a lot of people in society, they think that when you're a lawyer, all you do is read law. But that's a minimal part of our practice. We read the laws. Laws, we call it black letter law. Black letter law are the laws that are in the book. For example, you shouldn't trespass on the street. That's a law. But in reality, laws are in the books, but the stories behind the laws is what gives that law life. And as a result, we have to be good storytellers. What happens is, there's something about jurisprudence process called Socratic method. Socratic method says that to get to the bottom of the truth, you have to get involved in a question and answer period. And our legal system is built on that system, question and answer. When you go to trial, you have to ask the witness his or her story. You have to read the story to the jury. When you're summarizing the trial to the jury, you have to explain the story to the jury so they can